Hey, how you doing, Justin? Back with you to talk a little bit more about strumming. Specifically, I want to expand your horizons a bit from the all-down eighth note strumming that we talked about last week. So very quick refresher. Hopefully you've been working on it anyway. But we started off our most basic strumming back when we were doing the first grade stuff was all eighth notes. So going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then combinations of those. So go 1, 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or whatever, any combination where our hand was making 8 movements in the bar. Last week we introduced this idea of doing all down picks, down strums on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we ended up with 8 down movements, but we knew that we had 8 up movements as well. We just weren't playing on them. So having this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and putting the accent on the 2 and the 4 is a really cool thing to do. You didn't have to do it, but that was part of the deal. Now, obviously, in between every down strum, there is an up strum. And the gist of this lesson is I don't want you to be afraid of trying out other patterns so long as you keep your hand moving consistently. So if you're looking at more advanced tunes like the proper strumming in Wonderwall or those kind of things, the patterns are fairly complicated. It's not something I'd suggest you go that full on at this point. But I don't want you to be afraid of trying out more advanced strumming patterns. So long as you keep that hand moving, it's going to be okay. A really fun thing to do is to write out your own patterns and just to write out literally 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and write downs above all of them and then choose some places to put some up strums and have a bit of an experiment. So long as you can keep the pattern consistent and you keep your arm moving evenly, that it's not getting jerky or pausing at any point, you should be fine. And you should have some fun and you'll learn a bit in the process. What I thought I'd do in this lesson is just take you through 3 patterns that might be worth giving some practice depending on what songs you decide that you want to play and whether you like it and whether you've got time for it. This week there's quite a lot of stuff going on, so I'm not scheduling practice time for this right away. But it could replace something if you feel you're confident with it sooner. So if you're happy with your F chord cheats earlier than you anticipated, or happy with the F chord earlier than anticipated, if you're one of those lucky, big, strong-handed people, then you might want to replace it with this kind of exercise. So the first one is playing all of the down strums, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, but putting an up strum after beat 2 and after beat 4. So you end up with this pattern. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and. Now you want to start that nice and slow like that, but most of the songs that are using that are kind of a little bit faster than that. When it gets a bit faster, you need to relax a little bit more into it. So you'd end up with 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and. It's a really, really nice little pattern, that one. It's almost like a little bounce off the backbeat if you're accenting on 2 and 4, having that up afterwards. It almost like kind of echoes it a little bit, and it can be quite a cool little trick to get involved with. Another nice pattern that I think you should experiment with is putting an up strum after the and of 2 and the and of 4. So 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a down, 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 up, down, 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 up, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1. Now, I just added an extra strum. Does it matter? Does it matter if you accidentally hit another strum in the pattern? It doesn't at all. It's totally, totally fine to add in more or less as many extra strums as you want. You want to try and aim for a consistent pattern, but you do deliberately sometimes want to have a change from that. It's like having a drum fill, just a little variation every now and again, usually every 4 and 8 bars, but it really doesn't matter. As long as you keep that hand moving consistently, everything is going to be fine. Now, a little extension of this pattern is to add an up strum after beat 3 as well. So you end up with this pattern, which I think is a really nice one. It's this 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4, 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 E and 4. What's really important here is that it feels good. You want to practice these patterns over and over again and really work on making it feel nice when you play it. You should feel like dancing. You got to get, that's the point of it. The whole aim of these strumming patterns is to make them feel good. Practicing a bit without a metronome is probably a good idea first of all. Just going for the hand mute without worrying about the chords. As soon as you introduce the chords, there's more to worry about and you'll be less focused on the rhythmic element. So if you're going to practice it, mute up the strings there and just practice the pattern on its own. Some of the counting is going to be new for some of you. We haven't gone into a great deal of detail. It's something that we cover a lot more in the intermediate course. This is 16th note strumming. Basically, in between the number and the and, we add an E and an A. So we have this 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and is the count. Again, I wouldn't worry too much about it because it can get a bit more complicated later on down the line, but we're still in beginner territory here, really. This is just, I want you to be not afraid to add in upstrokes to your simple all downs. That's kind of the point of this lesson, particularly if strumming is all right for you, because again, we're all going to find this journey a little different. Some people are going to struggle more with the rhythm. Some people are going to struggle more with the chords. It all comes out with practice. So you'll end up being able to do all of those things. You need to work harder on the things that you're struggling with. And if you're still finding the basic 8th note strumming, you don't want to go near this. But if you're cool with the strumming up to this point, you're like, I want a bit more food, this is a great place to explore. I know for myself, with the left-handed journey, the strumming is actually feeling pretty good. I feel like I can have a go at playing like the Wonderwall rhythm. It's pretty ropey and I can't make the chord changes, but you know, it's okay to have a little bit of a go at those sort of things. The important thing, and the key thing here is the keeping the hand moving consistently, because if you don't keep the hand moving consistently, then you're kind of training yourself to do something that's not right. There are times way later down the journey where you don't keep the hand moving consistently. But at this point, that should be the focus of your attention when you're doing any rhythmic stuff, rhythmic practice, or working on your time, working on making it feel good, is making sure that the hand is moving consistently and you've got that feeling that it's all good. The consistency, the feeling, the kind of the continuous motion of that hand is going to be the thing that really helps you hold your groove on. So there's 3 patterns to have an experiment with. You can add it into your practice routine if you want. If you want to add it in later, or you could do, add it in and do a bit extra practice each day if you wanted to. If you don't feel ready for it, you could leave it for a little bit. You could substitute it for something later on. At your stage, you have to do a little bit of self-assessment and working out what things you really need to work on the most. And you'll tell that by playing songs. When you're playing songs, what are the parts of playing songs that you're struggling with the most? So I really hope you enjoyed that. See you for more very soon.